Yo, beautiful people, what is going on, man? We are back with another week of the Respect the Game podcast. If you're new to this podcast, you probably thinking to yourself, what game are they talking about? Is it basketball? You're right. Is it football? You're right. Is it lacrosse? You'll probably be right in the future. We haven't got to lacrosse yet, but we're going to get there. Is it finances? Is that the game we're talking about? You're absolutely right. Is it faith? You're absolutely right. Is it just trying to make it through this world with all its obstacles? Is that the game we're talking about? You, my friend, are correct. So, without a doubt, welcome to the Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, named after a great man by my mama. That great man would be my OG, my pops. Make sure, as always, stop what you're doing. And even if you came back and you already following me, do me another favor and tell somebody who not following me to follow me at Emax Stacks for all your up-to-date sports coverage, high school, college, and the pros. I'm giving it all to you. So, as always, I know I may be named after a great man, but on this particular podcast here, I am Nathaniel with all my brothers who are also on this podcast. So, fellas, introduce yourself to the beautiful people.
Yo, this is Black Peace, host of Talking Smoke also. You can find on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But you can also find Respect the Game podcast also. Yeah, man, give you that diverse, independent thought process that you never even thought existed out there. Let's go.
I am Coach Johnson. I am the husband of Jordan. I am the father of Harper and Deuce, and I am here to bring the controversy. I'm here to make you think outside the box and see the game in a new way.
Good evening, beautiful people. It is I, Sedacious Xavier Miles, the one and only. And on behalf of me and the brothers, I'd like to say thank you so much for tuning in and listening. And please continue to tune in and listen. We love you so much, and we thank you so much. And I'm going to do something that I never do this time around. I'm actually going to plug myself. So go follow me, Instagram at International Live or at Sedacious. Also, you can go follow me at Twitter at Sedacious. Take it away, Edward.
I don't know why it seems like we're so calm right now. Hey, but yo, this is off the cuff real quick. So please, whatever y'all doing, go back and listen to the past episode titled Debt Free, something like that, Debt Free song. Mm-hmm. Great conversation last week. Our boy Christian is him and his wife are completely debt free. Gave us some tips on how to become debt free. And yo, I've taken that step, and today I went back and found out all the student loan debt because that's all the debt that I really got. So boys, went back, made some phone calls, seen who I owe, what they need, what they trying to do, or whatever the case may be. And my number, I guess the debt that I'm in with school and grad school and Wiley is $105,937.20. It's light. But I think it was, for me personally, at least, I think it was a key big step to just like go back and figure out, taking that baby step to like figure out like, okay, you can't really make a plan till you know what you owe. And so I found out everything that I really owe today. So it's like, I ain't really tripping off of it. It's going to get paid one way or another.
Yeah, you got that shit.
Yeah, you know, as long as I owe them, they'll never go broke. So
you might. Hey, I'm proud of you, brother. I'm proud of you.
Appreciate you, dog, man. But yeah, man, I'm gonna get it paid off, man. I'm gonna come over the game plan, and I'm gonna definitely get it paid off, man. So once I really start racking it up, I don't owe nobody.
There you go.
Yeah, man. So last week, man, I know y'all probably watched us talk about finances, and you know that was just us working ahead for rainy days. But in the case of Houston, it wasn't necessarily a rainy day. It was a couple of snowy nights without lights and power and food and so on and so forth. Your boy's no longer in H-Town, but oh man, yo, we not at full strength. Shout out to our boy Shineheart Izzo. I know y'all feel like, whoa, what happened to him? We not at full strength
Right.
But
We didn't
triple
kick him
salute
off,
to
y'all.
our boy Shineheart Izzo. He may come in, he may not. We're not sure, but I mean, y'all know. Start what you're doing, and we guarantee you, if you go to whether it's Instagram or Twitter, and you go follow Shineheart Izzo, guaranteed that the screen on your phone will get brighter. That's a guarantee. And you're back, and you're gonna
And he's full of hood excellence.
Say that again, Darnell.
Hood excellence.
And he's full of hood excellence, apparently.
Yes, he is.
Hood intellectual, charismatic. Excellence.
Yeah.
That is.
There he is.
But yeah, man,
Can't
shout
be
out
it.
to our brother Shineheart Izzo. But yeah, last week in Houston, Sedacious, Darnell, Isaac, y'all in H-Town right now. Y'all had to kind of go through those snowy storms, bro. Like, how y'all doing? How y'all recouping? Like, what was that time like? Starting with Sedacious.
Bro, you already know how I felt. I called you multiple times, pissed off, angry, enraged. I really, honestly, I don't know who to be mad at. Everybody wants me to believe that I should be mad at ERCOT or I should be mad at Texas officials. But honestly, I just feel like whoever it is or whatever it is or whoever they are, I just feel like there was an agenda. You know what I'm saying? And what's come out is that decisions were made and people's lives were played with because of money, because of, discounted rates and stuff like that. And so, I'm really just hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like the state that we love and we all call home would mismanage our lives like that. And you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just all fucked up. It's just a fucked up situation down here in Texas. And not to jab anybody or anything like that, but with Texas being red, so it's only so much a person can feel. Now I know, like, I don't want to like blame, a certain type of party. That's not what I'm trying to do. But you know what I'm saying? It almost feels like, bro, like, come on, man, do y'all care about us or not? So my water is still not on. You can't take a shower. Got to take whole baths at friends' places, but it is what it is. The light's back on, so thank the Lord for that. So I try not to complain, man. I just try to make the best of it. So I mean, that's all you really can do, So yeah, a lot of people, had worse than me, and my shit was pretty bad. So when I think about that, I can't help but, just thank God that it didn't get any worse than it could have. Oh, that's it. I'm done. Anybody raise their hand? Nobody raised their hand.
Hey, Sedacious, is it fair or not fair? Because I know when we was talking about it, it was just like laughing. It's like talk about on the pod, like shout out to Joe, and hopefully Joe's like healed up since.
Oh yeah. Oh my man. So my brother fell through the ceiling. He was
I'm sorry, forgive me. Tell them about after he fell. What playlist that you tend to be listening to?
I was finna run through it. So
all right.
my brother fell through the ceiling, and so of course he fell, but he's okay. But he was walking on the beams trying to figure out where the leak was coming from, and one of them beams was too slippery, and his foot slipped off, and the only thing under him was that ceiling, and he went straight through it. But afterwards, he was cleaning up. All of a sudden, I just decided to start playing No Ceilings by Lil Wayne. That was just like, Rockstar lifestyle might not make it. So it was a thing. It was funny as fuck. I enjoyed it. And it brightened up the day. It really did. You should have brought that up. But yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy. But we got FEMA coming in to try to assist people. And this is really like the fastest FEMA has ever moved. You know what I'm saying? It's like, y'all not blaming us again. Y'all get y'all ass out there and help them niggas.
How was it for you, Darnell?
Honestly, man, a blessing, but it was a tough blessing. I started to say, man, to everybody in Texas, I believe we stood Texas strong as we could. We're not built for snow. And I mean, we went to a point of we have poor insulation in the house, which is the only fault in the house, at least in my opinion. And it whooped our ass. It got to a certain point where I took a nap. I woke up and I barely breathed, and I seen so much of my own breath, so much. I went to use the restroom, and the steam would consistently come up like I was brewing tea. I changed my son's diaper. It's steam coming from it. I've never experienced anything like this in my life. But at the end of the day, man, you know, like I said, I was blessed. Like my sink was okay, my toilet was okay, cold as hell. Well, cold as ice, but at the end of the day, it was, you know, manageable. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a couple of social media photos and everything that was just like, damn, you know, ceilings and sinks are over frozen and toilet seats are like. But no, yeah, man, it was it was we made it, man. Honestly, I feel like we got the light end of it. I can't say we got the short end at all. Not even close.
Gotcha. How many days were you without power?
I was 28 hours. I was counting them hours, baby. 28 hours.
28 hours without power. Okay. Gotcha. What about you?
That's
Sedacious.
Say it again, brother.
Well, how many days or how long were you without power?
It went in and out for like 4 days, honestly.
No.
So I'm not gonna lie to you. The first day, like I went fucking crazy because I woke up. So Monday morning, I wake up, bro. It's like my power withstood the snow throughout the night. I wake up and it's just loaded with snow everywhere. So now it's like daylight, like sun shining, and all of a sudden my power goes out. And so I'm like, hold the fucking phone. Like typically the rain is fucking coming down and it's thundering and lightning, and then the power go out and you ain't tripping because you know in the morning when it start raining, they'll get out here, they'll fix it, be back on. But bro, for it to snow as hard as it did, it has snowed that hard after that. You know what I'm saying? It snowed a little bit to add it to what it was, but from Sunday to Monday, that was like the mother load. You know what I'm saying? So with all that snow coming down, and my power was able to withstand it, but in the daytime, y'all cut my shit off, and then my shit was off all day until 11 o'clock that night. No, I lied. It was off all day. We had to go to sleep with the lights off. Woke up, the lights were still off, and they put them back on at 11 o'clock that night. And I'm like, I don't get it. So then I go to work, bro. I go to work like Monday, and I go across the freeway, you know what I'm saying, to the Heights, $1 million neighborhood. And I'm working in the lady cable, and she's like, and I'm like, so when did your power come back on? She's like, oh, we never lost power. You know, our power was fine. She's like, we lost water, but we didn't lose power. And so I'm like, how the fuck, bro? I just, like I said, don't know who to be mad at. You just know that there's an agenda. There's some foul play somewhere up in here.
Gotcha. Well, I'm not in Texas. I'm not in Houston. I'm in Maryland. But I am one of the more political guys on the podcast, and I am the in-house right winger. So I do want to say I know on a few of our earlier podcasts we talked about the necessity of voting and how important it is and stuff like that. But one thing I do want to say is voting local. I think I said it last time we talked about voting. Voting local. Decisions like decisions that were made prior to this affect events like this. And so, but also too, I would say this: I would ask that everyone listen to both sides of the argument about what happened, about why this happened in Texas. Someone who I think actually does a pretty good job of explaining it, a lot of stuff. Representative Dan Crenshaw He's a congressman from Texas. He is a Republican, but he does a good job on climate stuff. There's a difference between the right and the left when they're understanding of climate change and what to do about it. And that discrepancy is why there's different understanding of why this happened. So the argument that, you know, people in Texas were just trying to save money to you know, this is why it happened. Sure, but if they would have spent more money, the state wasn't paying for that. The customers were paying for that. All right, so your energy bill would have been a lot higher. It wasn't you know, the state saving money. Second though, the argument between renewable energy and gas and oil energy and stuff like that, natural gas and stuff, that different argument there is why I would just say look into it. That should give you some answers there. So you know, this also too, recognizing, I don't know when the last time Texas got this cold. Y'all live there, so you know, I don't know if Texas gets this cold every winter, but
You got like 23 in and out on the years. 23, 24. That's about as cold as it ever gets.
Right. It ain't snowed like this since I was a little boy.
Gotcha. So
Ooh, snow like this or just snow, bro?
No, snow like this. Snow like this.
Ooh,
No,
man,
snow.
listen.
We've had snow throughout the years. I'll give you that. We've had snow.
Yeah.
but
We had like
it
damn near like we
hadn't been this cold though.
No.
All right. So you have a once in a while event happens and the grid shuts off. You know,
Mother Nature is undefeated, as we all know.
So what was said is Texas was told in '98 that they need to join the grid that everyone else is on, and then they were again told in '11 that they needed to join. So my question is, the only question I have for the powers that be is, why not? Okay, so why not make it to where it's feasible for you guys as higher officials and for us as the customers to be able to integrate something that would, in the event, you know what I'm saying, just on some stay ready so you don't have to get ready, in the event, to have those things in place. So once the power grid starts to oversurge and everything like that, we already good to go. We already got those things in place. It's just the flip of a switch from there on. That's my question. Why not already have these things in place? Why wait now to where we have to point fingers to be like, oh, well, it's actually their fault. Oh no, it's actually their fault. Oh, actually, we have to do this and we have to do that. Like that's what makes it like fucked up, in my opinion, in my honest opinion.
True indeed. Again, Mother Nature is undefeated. Do like Coach Johnson told y'all, go do your own research. Don't just let the media feed you with who he say, she say, they say. And definitely hoping that in whatever way possible, this can be worked as a blessing in disguise for everyone in disguise, whether that be financially, whether that be you ending up with a fully furnished, remodeled home through whatever organizations. But yeah, continuing to move forward with the podcast. So Bobby Shmurda is finally out of jail. So this is my biggest question, and I would direct it to Black Peace first. Is the celebration of Bobby Shmurda being home, is the celebration more about a dope artist who once went away at the peak of his career is now finally home to continue doing what he loves to do? Is the celebration more about that, or is the celebration about celebrating a guy who was in the streets and he didn't break the code and he actually stood by the code to allow to take more time to allow his friend, his brother, to get less time. And for those who may not be familiar with the situation of Bobby Shmurda, 7 years ago, he went into prison, being charged with, gang affiliated activity. It was told to Bobby Shmurda, hey, Bobby, we will give you less time if you tell, or I don't know the particulars, but we'll give you less time if you do something or say something that will allow us to give your friend and other counterparts more time. Bobby Shmurda, obviously, sticking to the code, don't snitch, and so on and so forth. That being his close friend and Roddy Rebel decided to say, no, I'm not fit to do anything that's going to give him more time and give me less time. And that ended up in both of them, Roddy Rebel and Bobby Shmurda, both getting 7 years. Obviously, you can go get public court documents, so on and so forth. So again, question directed to Black Peace: is the celebration more about Bobby Shmurda respecting the code of not snitching and taking more time so his best friend, his homeboy, could not get more time, or is the celebration more geared towards Bobby Shmurda is finally home and able to get back to what he likes to do, and that being making music?
It's a celebration for the King of New York, bro. It's a celebration for the King of New York. Straight like that, bro. Because what you described, that plus that equals the King of New York, which means it's offset. That's what makes it so ridiculous. That's why all eyes are on him. He didn't snitch and is a great artist. Usually it doesn't go as hand in hand. When he fell down, he was at the high, he was on his rise up. So therefore, reason why I went so hype with it, because it's like you don't find artists like that actually just have that combination of realness, combination of actual skill, combination, just bringing all that to the table and then risking it all and just saying, you know what, I'm gonna stick to what I know. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna fold. I'm not gonna try to get out. No. I'm gonna stick to my morals and keep it 100. And at the end of the day, it's not built for everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's not built for everybody. But at the end of the day, he preached it. He practiced what he preached. Plain and simple. He followed the street laws. He's followed the don't snitch. He kept it 100 in his raps, which I feel like he should fall back a little bit. But he did what I feel like artists these days should do, which is just be 100 with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Which is just like, shoot, if you do what you did, shit, take your L. Don't be over here trying to, put anybody else down. Do what you take responsibility for your actions. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes somebody that we don't mention on this podcast such a target. So, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's both. Plain and simple, man. It's both. It's a crazy combination of both.
What you got on the Dacius?
All right. So, brother Darnell, Black Peace, I couldn't have not agreed with you more. It is a win for hip hop every time a real nigga gets to come home and start telling them real nigga stories again. I know most wouldn't do this. I'm not doing this. It's just I know how some people feel about him, and it's and they have every right to be. I mean, it's Bobby Shmurda. I put it up there, not all the way up there, but I put it up there with Lil Wayne coming home, T.I. coming home, Gucci coming home, all these big wigs in hip hop coming home, because it's like, dog, these niggas stayed real, went to jail, sat down, didn't snitch. You know what I'm saying? Or it's not documented that they snitched, because some people feel like allegedly maybe one of them snitched. Anyway, that's another story. Come out of jail and continue to be a real nigga. And what I like about it, man, they did the interview with him, and he, his head is on straight. You know what I'm saying? He like, man, when you're in jail, you just sit back and think. And so you're thinking about, providing for your brothers, and, just hopefully he's on the up and up. You know what I'm saying? He had that time to sit down, and now he just want to put all that street shit into the music. That's how it seems. And so, yeah, I mean, kudos, man. Glad to see him out. When he saw his mama, that was a sight to see. You know what I'm saying? Almost made me tear up. So, hey, that's my take.
I coined this phrase from The Wire. Shout out to my dog, Mr. J, Team Stringer. But I coined this term from The Wire. no matter when you go to prison, no matter how much time you gotta serve, you only do 2 days. The day you go in and the day you come out. So shout out to Bobby Shmurda, man, for doing this 2 days, man. So I will, we're doing good with time. All right, man. So shout out to us, not interrupting and going the course. Meek Mill, still on the topic of music. Christian, you can get in on this if you like. Meek Mill. So Meek Mill recently had, I don't think he put out the entirety of a song, but it was just a snippet of a few bars it was a Kobe bar in there. This is, let me make sure I read it correctly for y'all. But all right, so these are the bars. This bitch I'm fucking always tell me that she love me, but she ain't ever showed me. Yeah, and if I ever lack, I'm going out with my chopper. It be another Kobe. Obviously, we get the sentiment of that bar and what he was saying, not even trying to say what he said. Obviously, Kobe Bryant and had the tragic death of his daughter and the other passengers that were also on that helicopter. Get it, wordplay, metaphor, chopper, going out, Kobe. So what I think about that is it was just a snippet, one. Two, I think 20 years from now, I don't think that if somebody else were to say that, I don't think it would matter as much as it does now. Obviously, with Kobe Bryant being such an iconic global figure, it's going to be a long time before you could let those types of bars fly. I forget the comedian's name, and this is fresh when Kobe died. This comedian had a joke where the joke went, man, I heard Kobe passed. And my first thought was, no way. And that was a play on him passing the ball. And it was just like, bruh, bruh, that's a no-go, right? And this was way fresher than when Meek Mill did it. We just off like a year since Kobe's passing. But yeah, man, again, one more time for the people who listening, so you don't have to go back and rewind. The Meek Mill bar, and I'm sorry if you listen to this with your kids, but cover their ears. The Meek Mill Kobe bar. This bitch I'm fucking always tell me that she love me, but she ain't ever showed me. Yeah, and if I ever lack, I'm going out with my chopper. It'd be another Kobe. And to add more to this, the Kobe bar got out to, unfortunately, Vanessa Bryant, Kobe's widowed wife. And Vanessa's comments to it was on social media via Instagram, Dear Meek Mill, I find this line to be extremely insensitive and disrespectful, period. I am not familiar with any of your music, but I believe you can do better than this. If you are a fan, fine. There's a better way to show your admiration for my husband. This lacks respect and tact. And Meek Mill followed, and obviously people are always trying to cancel somebody, so obviously there was a viral situation on social media. And so to Vanessa Bryant posts on Instagram, Meek Mill then responded on Twitter, I apologize to her being Vanessa Bryant. I apologized to her in private earlier today, not to the public. Nothing I say on my page directed to an internet viral moment or the family of a grieving woman. If you care about someone grieving, change the subject. Specifically talking about the bar, I think, and with the snippet and not the whole song, the bar was whack. If you gonna say or bring a Kobe bar like that, I need to feel like that bar's so hard. I can't be mad at you for using it. But it was whack. It wasn't even heavy. I don't even think there was. I think this is just a song of throwaway. I'm not even sure what it was. But for starters, I'm sensitive to it because it's Kobe. I know how I feel about Kobe. So I wouldn't have liked it regardless of the time. But I even more hate the fact that I feel like it's just like, bro, that was a weak ass bar. You could use another analogy, another metaphor. Yeah. Well, I got you, D. What's your question, bro?
I just want to say this real quick because I'm more focused on the way he responded. I feel like the times and just people have friends, people have people in their ear. I feel like it's more of the whole verse that kind of got the actual Vanessa. Now I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but this is from her point of view. You know what I'm saying? The line says, my girl says what again? Can you remind me that first part, the female part?
This bitch I'm fucking always tell me that she loved me, but she ain't ever showed me.
Pause. With that being said, the rap game has known to kind of play with their relationship to where she's sensitive, I feel. And that's what brings up that little bit of like, you know what I mean? That little bit of extra attachment. Because he said, I apologize to you in person. What's the big deal? I think, a little bit of something that, people in her ear made it to where it was like, oh, did you hear the other verse about it though? Like, what? How did he make that come to? Like, and I think she's digging too deep because I feel like he was just referencing Kobe and just didn't even think about any verses around it. It was like, you know what, dude? Everybody know how he went out. It's infamous how he went out, and I'm gonna use it. Like you said, Edward, it was a pretty whack bar. It was pretty simple. It didn't really. I mean, it was just a little untimely. Like you said, if we give it like 10, 15 years down the line, maybe 20, been perfect. But right now, it's just the level of his stature. Can't do it, buddy. Sorry.
Speaking as a fellow artist, I honestly believe that Meek Mill, in some way or another, felt like he was paying homage. The whole usage of the word bitch, and in a derogatory sense, of course, is how he raps. But once it got up to the Kobe portion, I really felt like him trying to pay homage in that way made the bar whack. And that's what it made the bar whack, because it's like, we get what you're trying to do, but you didn't, like Edward said, you didn't do it hard enough to sting me, and you didn't pay homage enough for it not to come off as disrespectful. So all around, the bar was whack. So me personally, as a Kobe fan, at first I'm like, what the fuck? He's stupid. Why would he do that? But then my artist mind was like, nah, bro, you know what I'm saying? If you really, really fucked up about a situation, and you know what I'm saying, and it's a lot of other stuff pouring on you too, and you just want to write it out, you know what I'm saying? Like, things come out in your head on the paper a certain way that you really feel like, oh, this finna kill him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking maybe he threw the snippet out there, for his little baby, you know what I'm saying? Let me see how this whole go before I actually, you know what I'm saying? And then got his response and did what a real nigga did, you know what I'm saying? Yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand. Go ahead, bro. What's your question?
Or biting off what you said, like he threw it out to see how it would do. Maybe he threw it out thinking it was hard and he was gonna get a great response.
Yes, Edward. Yes. And that's how I'm thinking in my artist mind. Is like, no, he threw this out for my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking Darnell has a question. Let's go, Darnell.
Just real quick, you have to remember he does come from the art of battle rap where there are no rules. I'm done.
Exactly, brother. And so that's how I feel. Like, in the spirit of entertainment, people have to understand that artists not only have to be artists, they also have to be entertainers. So you have all this pressure of not only being an artist, but also being a great artist to entertain. And some shit might not go over well. So we know Meek, bro. We know he ain't no disrespectful ass type dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know him like that, but his track record has shown this dude pretty solid, right? So, I feel like for this one, with entertainment and the fact that you're a rapper and the fact that once it was brought up to you, like, no, bro, this is not how you feel. This is disrespectful. You apologize, and that's it. Let's move on. Coach Johnson, you want to
add? Sometimes it's hard to please everybody.
There you go.
No, on the real. I see where Meek Mill was trying to go with it. Especially in invoking Kobe. But probably it's too soon. And I mean, to be honest with you, with how grimy he kind of set the scene up with the verse, even if nothing had happened to Kobe, knowing his wife and her background, she wouldn't have liked it anyway. So, yeah. So
that was exactly what I was saying. I'm like, you weren't shooting in the gym with old boy. So just saying.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Took it,
No. I mean, that's not necessarily what I'm saying. I'm saying like she doesn't come from that world. And so because she doesn't come from that world, a lot of sometimes folks can be a little bougie, right? And look down upon that type of language or saying things that particular way. And so go ahead, brother.
Man, I'm glad that you brought up that point because you allowed Darnell to piggyback, and I'm now going to piggyback off Darnell. You're right, Christian, because Drake said, "Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym," and she really got really upset and was like, "Who are you? Does my husband know you?" And as a Drake fan, I'm like, okay, hold on, bitch. Now, like, hold up. Now we talking about Drake. Now, I'm like, don't play like you don't know who Drizzy is. But then eventually, I'm like, my boy got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm like, I bet she know who that nigga is now.
Yeah. Hey, well, you want to chime in?
Yeah. So Sedacious, right? So that Drake boy, bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym, right? Imagine had Drake used that bar, but everything before it, he had never said. Kobe about to lose 150 M's. Kobe, my nigga, I hate it had to be him. Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Not just once. Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Right?
Drake had once, Rick Ross had once.
Right. And so, but I used that point. I don't know if it was you, Darnell, or you, Sedacious, that like, well, no, that was you, Darnell, where it was like, it was what Meek Mill said before he got to Kobe on my this bitch I'm fucking always tell me that she love me, like before he actually got to the punchline, right? So
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And maybe this could be because I don't know if they were truly like on the verge of being broken up or divorced or separated when Drake had that bar, but one could possibly, I'm sorry, well, Kobe has passed, so like that's just a touchy subject.
Some cuts just don't heal correctly.
Yeah. Right. Hey, look, what I'm saying is, okay, my wife and Kobe's wife come from similar worlds. Let me just say that, right? When my wife listens, she hates to listen to our podcast because she doesn't like the language. Okay? She's like, I can't stand this is crap. This is crap. This is manure. Goodness, good golly. Right? Okay.
Thank you, Edward.
So, right, she calls Edward and she tells him all the time. Right? But what I'm saying is sometimes, folks from that world won't, they don't like it. No matter what. And when that type of language is used and that how graphic things can get when that's used, some people from different worlds don't like it and won't enjoy it and won't understand it to be able to enjoy it. Now, that is not me saying anything bad about folks who come from that world, because I'm kind of in that world. So,
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, a lot of the, I think a lot of the heat that Meek Mill is getting, some of it just comes from, hey, somebody who doesn't understand the world that he's coming from and why he would think that, oh, this is an okay line. Sure, it might be a little too soon, right? But for someone like Kobe, I mean, it's always gonna be too soon. So, I think I would, though I don't really listen to Meek Mill like that. I think the only song I know from him is Dreams and Nightmares. So, you
You
know,
hard for that.
hey, you know, that's hey, I go off on that one. I
Yeah,
really,
no. The world does, bro. Don't worry. You hard for that. Bro, like you don't understand. You just moved when you said something.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
If you tell me you know Mo City done, you gonna learn Mo City done. You gonna have a special place in my heart.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know what that is. So
I'm gonna leave that to Edward.
Yeah, we'll get it to you. Yeah, man. But yeah, well, I mean, obviously, yeah, good conversation on that. I love y'all boys' perspective on that, man. Still still in the basketball world, coming off of Kobe. NBA All-Star selections have just come out, and to just blatantly just get to after the reserves have just come out, we'll tell y'all who they are in a little bit. LeBron James, Devin Booker is the most disrespected player in our league. Simple as that. Then he followed up that tweet with, followed by Dame Dollar. So for those who listen to the podcast, you're not necessarily sure who all the NBA All-Stars are currently. So the starters, and obviously they're still keeping the same, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but they're doing it the same way they did it last year in terms of having 2 team captains and letting them pick amongst the All-Stars. So it's not necessarily West versus the East. It's all interchangeable. It's like, like the way they set it up with the pickup situation. So the starting All-Stars are LeBron James. This is his 17th time. Joker. This is his 3rd time. Kawhi Leonard, 5th time. Stephen Curry, 7th time. Luka from Dallas Mavericks. This is his 2nd time being selected. And for the LeBron James will be one of the team captains. Will be the team captain from the West. Next for the East starters, Kevin Durant, he will be the starter. He'll be the team captain. This is his 11th All-Star appearance. Giannis is going to be starting. This is his 5th appearance. Joel Embiid, his 4th appearance. Bradley Beal, his 3rd appearance. And Kyrie Irving, this is his 7th appearance. So those are the starters, the guys who are going to be starting. Now, for the reserves, you have Anthony Davis. Someone is obviously going to take his spot because Anthony Davis is out and he won't return to after the All-Star break. Paul George, PG-13. He is he's been selected for the reserves. Zion Williamson, averaging 25 points and 6 rebounds. This is his 1st appearance in the All-Star League. Damian Lillard, Dame Dollar, averaging 29 points per game. We're going to get to talking about snubs. Why is Dame not a starter? Donovan Mitchell is on the reserves for the West, and Chris Paul and Rudy Gobert. All right. So for the Eastern Conference reserves, you have Jason Tatum, you have Ben Simmons, Julius Randle. This is also his 1st All-Star appearance. He's averaging 23 points and 11 rebounds. James Harden, leading the league in 11 assists per game. He's on the reserve. Jaylen Brown from the Celtics, he's averaging 25.5. This is also his 1st time in the All-Star game. And Zach LaVine averaging 28 points with the Bulls. This is also his 1st time in the All-Star game. And then you also have Nikola Vucevic, that Christian boy from the Orlando Magic. So,
baby, there we go.
just 3 players in particular. Y'all get throw out some other names out there. Devin Booker, going back to LeBron James's tweet, Devin Booker is the most disrespected player in our league. Simple as that. He was not selected as an All-Star, and I could be wrong, but I don't think Devin Booker has ever been selected for an All-Star. Devin Booker right now is averaging 24 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds a game. And he has the Phoenix Suns in the 4th seed. And we know the Phoenix Suns have never been in playoff contention ever. But instead of Devin Booker being selected for at least the reserves, Chris Paul was selected, and he's averaging 16 points, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds. When it comes to talking about who's an All-Star, who should be a starter, who should be a reserve, while numbers can tell a story, it doesn't tell the whole story. But I think when trying to evaluate, is this guy a starter compared to this guy? Well, his stats say this. Well, his stats say that. I think you have to also pay close attention to, okay, what is this guy doing that is so special for his team to be so successful thus far this season? That's something you have to consider, I think, from just a basketball mindset, from a coaching standpoint. But the All-Star game is not about the X's and O's of the particulars. It is about the fans who want to see a show. Making that point, you have Luka starting, and the Dallas Mavericks are 14-15 under 500, right? He's starting over Damian Lillard. And I want to say right now, obviously, you know, the West be close and flip-flop, but I mean, right now, Portland is a 5th seed, and Damian Lillard is doing this without CJ McCollum, you know, without Yusuf Nurkic. Because I always get him and Joker mixed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dame is doing this with like little to like no help, you know. Still have a pretty young core. Melo has been helping them, but like, I mean, come on. And so the fans, according to the point system, the fans all selected Luka, but the players and the coaches preferred to have Dame in that starting spot. But with the metric system, how they do it for the All-Star game, the fans voting outweighs really any other voting. So yeah, I think it's an atrocity that, like, I hate to not see Devin Booker as an All-Star. And, like, dudes be getting M's, like, with bonuses on their contract for making an All-Star game, too, man. I don't know if there's necessarily a graduated difference in if you start or if you just got to make the All-Star game. But to be getting snubbed like that, I think is whack. Other players, like, from the East, Fred VanVleet, averaging 20.6 assists, 4 rebounds. Like, he wasn't even selected. Toronto, they 5th right now. Obviously, he's been playing good this season. Domantas Sabonis from Indiana, averaging 21 and 11 with 5 assists. Indiana is 4th right now. Did y'all want to have your hands up? I had my head down, my bad.
I was scratching for doing that.
Okay. I'm gonna toss it to you, Darnell. So Christian Wood, I wish Sean Hall was on here because I would love to hear his take. So Christian Wood right now is averaging 22 and 10. But Houston is like, they kind of fell off that high that they was on when Harden first left, and now they're like at the 14th seed. Christian Wood is averaging 22 points and 10 rebounds. And when like the All-Star reserves came out, his tweet was casuals in terms of just like kind of like people who overlook him, he just considered them casuals. I think that was just him responding to the fact that he wasn't selected for the All-Star game. What do you think about Christian Woods, and just, you know, if there any other players you felt like should have been starters or maybe at least been on like the reserve team?
It's a couple, but I do think most of them were perfect because it makes beautiful playoffs. That's the difference between I'm doing it real quick. That's the difference between NFL and the difference between the NBA. That motivates those players halfway through to either make a playoff push or show up in the playoffs and show who they really, really are. In NFL, it's a little different. That's why sometimes you notice that some teams just fall off. They have no motivation. They've been playing all year, but there's no extra You know what I'm saying? There's you didn't get picked, but you didn't get to watch that game you want to be in and how everybody has so much fun. You know, it hasn't quite hit you yet, the reality of it. But to go back to it, I think it's perfect. Devin Booker, I feel like it's a perfect snub because it's time for him to show up in the playoffs like no other. I feel like Chris Paul deserves it because he's actually getting the wins for them. He's not just, it don't matter about the stats for Chris Paul. It never really has. It's about how productive he can make his team. Lillard, perfect motivation. He's the type of person you can't give Damian Lillard a damn thing. Not saying he won't appreciate it, but he's the type of person he's like he fueled off of motivation. Go ahead.
I feel like Dame is past the point of like being motivated off like a quote unquote like
it's his career now. It's turned to his career. Like it's him. Like I think he's gonna go down as the most underrated player to ever play in the NBA at this point. Like he's really getting to that point because he's definitely got the clutchness and all the skills and whatnot. I won't get too deep into that, but yeah, he definitely is that guy. And for him not to get those obvious picks, it's like, bro, they building you up a certain way. I'm almost some conspiracy type thing. They want him to play better and be ready for the playoffs and never slack off. Like they fear he's not going to show up if he don't get motivated correctly. Every year it's something with Damian Lillard, either get compared to other point guards or get snubbed in the All-Star game.
Before I toss it to you, Dacian, I will say, as I began my sports journalism journey and career, it wasn't the first, but it was one of the first articles that I did. It was on Damian Lillard being like the rookie of the year. And I got to go back and look at that article because I'm pretty sure like I predicted like all of his like greatness now. Just had to always like throw it out there to let it know that like I call Dame's greatness before everybody. I have to. It's a habit. But you got anything on the All-Star Dacians?
Yeah, I thought that it was going to be the same old setup, East and West, until you told me what you just told me. But yeah, onto the Devin Booker thing. I think it's what Darnell said. Hold up, pause real quick, because Edward, you said something earlier that I thought was a little bit preposterous, but you had me muted. You don't believe that the Phoenix Suns never been to the playoffs ever, right? You don't really believe that, right?
No, if I said that, I misspoke, and what I said was I don't think Devin Booker's ever been selected for an All-Star game.
Oh, okay, because you was like, because I don't think the Phoenix Suns ever made it. They even had playoff contention ever.
I don't think Devin. Come on, bro. My best. I ain't that horrible. Nah, I don't think Devin Booker has ever been selected.
I even know that.
Right.
Even ask Mark Meyer. You know.
Yeah, bro. No, I was like, after Kobe would spank them year after year. How you forget that?
Yeah, I don't think Book ever been selected for an All-Star.
Besides Devin Booker and who was the second player you said, Devin Booker, and who else?
From the West, Christian Wood, but I mean, there's other guys from the West that you can name, DeMar DeRozan and so on and so forth.
So you said the top three guys. Who's the top three guys again?
For that didn't get selected.
Who didn't make it? Yeah, who didn't select?
Devin Book, Fred VanVleet, Christian.
Fred VanVleet, those two. Apart from those two, I feel like Darnell is right. The All-Star is perfect. Because Christian Wood, yeah, casuals, because this could be, you know what I'm saying, your first year where you did something. Now, I know that you're doing spectacular shit. Don't get me wrong. It's just the people got to love you that next year and maybe even that next year after that before they really start giving you the votes, just because they have it in the people's hands. That's just how I feel. Fred VanVleet, definitely a snub. Devin Booker, as far as All-Stars go, definitely a snub. Now, I kind of agree with Darnell when it comes to playoffs because that's really where you get to entertain the fans more. When you get deeper into the playoffs, they get to look at you more and be entertained more by you. So, and next year, it's like, oh, yeah, that nigga Devin Booker taking his team all the way to at least to the quarterfinals. I'm putting him in the All-Star game. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel what happened with Christian Wood. That's his name, right? I feel like that's what happened with him too, because I seen young boy play, and I'm like, ooh, if you could just keep tuning that game and keep being what the Rockets need you to be, we'd be like James Harden who. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel. But the Fred VanVleet and Devin Booker, they definitely got snubbed. But who they got snubbed for, I feel like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you can't really be too mad. You know what I mean? Because somebody, there's only so many slots, and somebody had to be kept out. But that's my take on it. But I'm glad that they're doing the team captain shit, because this would have been boring to see Kawhi go up against Giannis or Joel Embiid. I'm like, what the fuck? What kind of lineup is this? Like, it's totally mismatched. You got Luka, Steph, Braun, Jokic, and Kawhi up against Kyrie, Bradley Beal, KD, Giannis, and Joel Embiid. I'm like, okay, so clearly Giannis and Joel Embiid is just going to keep the paint locked down. Like, that's no fun.
Wait, time out. Is you're telling me that Kyrie is starting?
It would be Kyrie, Bradley Beal,
Kyrie is starting.
KD.
That is a little bit
KD,
unfair.
KD, Giannis, and Joel Embiid with
Of all the
Kyrie. Give a
things,
fuck about Bradley Beal.
of all the
Wait a
things to
minute,
penalize this man for when it came to the whole take a break, I feel like it should have been from All-Star. Anything else, you should let him be okay, but they should have penalized him for that. Just saying.
All right, so real quick, Christian Wood, you may not have been an All-Star, but I definitely see you in the foresights for Most Improved Player of the Year. One more time to wrap this up. Zion Williamson averaging 25 points and 6 rebounds, first time being an All-Star. Julius Randle averaging 23 points, 11 rebounds, first time All-Star. Jaylen Brown averaging 25 points a game, first time All-Star. Zach LaVine for the Bulls, averaging 28 points per game. He's also a first-time All-Star. And the Bulls are right there in the 8th seed over him, but it's, you know how the 8th seed be in the East. And for those who don't know, like Sebastian was saying, LeBron and KD are the team captains, and they get to pick. I don't know who's gonna go first, but they get to pick out of all the starters, that starting group, and then after that, they continue to like take turns picking who they want from the reserves. So it's gonna be mismatched, crisscross. It doesn't necessarily mean that all the East players are gonna be together, all the East starters are gonna be together. It's gonna be mismatched and crisscross, like it would be a regular pickup game. So Coach Johnson, you are hot. I'm gonna let you go and get your Chris Doyle get your Chris Doyle perspective point off, and then I'm gonna go back and read. Well, let me just preference it for the people to like know what you're talking against. So who is Chris Doyle, right? Chris Doyle was the strength and conditioning coach at Iowa for the Iowa Hawkeyes football program for over 20 years, right? So he ended up leaving because it started coming out allegations against him being racist against black players and black players. Slow down while you're talking, Edward. He's been being racist against black players and alleged bullying. So that came about with a simple tweet from James Daniels, who's a Chicago Bears guard currently, but attended Iowa in college, and he had put out a tweet. I think this is like this past summer. There are too many racial disparities in the Iowa football program. Black players have been treated unfairly for far too long. Then you had free safety from the Titans. He also had kind of like second that motion with his own tweet, basically saying, I remember whenever walking into the facility, it would be difficult for black players to walk around the facility and be themselves, as if the way you grew up was the wrong way or wasn't acceptable, and that would be judged by that, and you would be judged by that, and it would impact playing time. That's crazy. And so Chris Doyle, this guy that they're alleging to be racist against black players and bullied them when he was at Iowa, he got the player improvement position. He got hired on with the Jaguars by Urban Meyer, who's now the head coach. And these two, Chris Doyle and Urban Meyer, have been friends for 20-some plus years. Urban Meyer hiring him off his track record at Iowa. And it wasn't just James Daniel and Amani Hooker. It was, multiple players that came from Iowa, and some players who transferred because of what they said how Chris Doyle was treating them. All that was going on. People raised hysteria of how would Urban Meyer hire this guy with his track record and so on and so forth. And so Chris Doyle eventually left Iowa because he didn't want to be a distraction. And I want to say a day later, after being hired by Urban Meyer and all the hysteria going on in the media, Chris Doyle then said he was going to step down away from the position because he didn't want to be a distraction with Urban Meyer coming on. Christian has a hot take that he says is going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. And Coach Johnson, the floor is yours to piss people off, sir.
Thank you, sir. I really do appreciate it. Everyone, if you don't want to get your feelings hurt, you can go ahead and cut the podcast off right now or fast forward. Be about 2-3 minutes. Thank you, Black Peace. Here we go. So for everyone they want to, you can go look up the article and all the tweets. Bleacher Report put an article out with all the tweets about what was going on at Iowa. Okay, I would love for you to go through and look at all the tweets. Look at all the tweets. Number one, people's experience can be their experience, right? But we have to also ask, are they justified in their feelings? And did what they say happened actually happen, right? Now, there's nothing there that I would say that I would question, like, hey, did this happen or not? Because everything that a lot of these players put on there, I was like, wait a second. I've had coaches that have done that. I would guess that many of us who have played sports, who have been in football, who have been in high testosterone environments, have had coaches to do things like that. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, I was just gonna ask you to just like give us a few examples of like the stuff you said players said that was being done, or stuff that you related to that's been done.
Yeah, a few examples, right? So, Coach Doyle is the strength and conditioning coach. Now, anybody who has been at a program that has a strength and conditioning coach, so either in high school or in college, or even at the pro level, these are the craziest people in the program. These are the nuts. These are the guys who get up at 3 a.m. in the morning and say, "Where's the sun?" Right? These are the nuttiest people on the planet. Okay. And if you look on the sidelines on Saturdays, the guy that's running around on the field, jumping up and down at every score in his khakis, that's the strength and conditioning coach. Okay. He's always the crazy one. So Chris Doyle, he's also crazy. Now, one morning, Chris Doyle, he doesn't play about players drinking water. He's like, hey, we have this water for you. You got to drink every bit before we get started with our workout. You have one particular player, he's showing up and he's a little late, right? He's a little late. He doesn't have enough time to finish his whole water and get back to the workout, right? So he drinks about half of it and he throws it away. Chris Doyle says, hey, I don't play about my water. Dig your hand in that trash can, get the water back, and finish drinking the water, right? Now, many people would say that's pretty insensitive, right? This player took it as, hey, he doesn't have respect for black folks. He wants us to dig inside of trash cans where people bleed and sweat and all that stuff and all that. So he has no respect for us, right? I mean, hey, this is a crazy MFer, and that's what they do, right? All right, next. There's another player who he thinks is kind of soft, right? He thinks the guy's kind of soft. He knows that the player who's from, I think, Cleveland, went to, or some town in Ohio, went to the local Catholic school and did not go to the local public school. And he says something to the effect, hey, I know your soft behind had to go to the Catholic school because you couldn't make it over there with the thugs at the other school, right? Now, in the tweet, the player admits that the school had issues, which is why he went to the Catholic school. Now, if a black person, a black coach would have said the same thing, no one would question it, right? Because it's a white guy saying it, we all question it, right? The last one I'm gonna give, it wasn't him, it was actually the head coach. There's a player who was, he in the tweet he's talking about how he loved his hometown and everything, and he got a tattoo on his forearm, and his coach is asking about him. He's explaining why he got the tattoo and all that, right? Mind you, the coach is like 74. After he gets done explaining why he got the tattoo, the coach says, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and walks on, right? And the player gets all in his feelings, right? Like, oh, snap, I must have not, grown up on the right side of the tracks. Mind you, we just had a conversation earlier about some black folks or some people of color who also would have said the same thing. Okay? So, point number one, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. We black folks, us with this pigment in our skin, right? We look so freaking weak to the rest of the world when we come out crying off of little stuff like this. These are grown men. This is not the Powder Puff League. This is not Pop Warner. This is not JV football. This is not girls volleyball. These are grown men in a high testosterone environment, and somebody says something that hurts your freaking feelings, and you want to go crying about it. I'm sorry. I have no sympathy. I have no sympathy. Number two, to the Jaguar fans and the Jaguar journalists, right, who got super woke and were like, there's no way we can bring this racist guy in here, who didn't actually say anything racist. He just said something mean to a couple players. We can't have him in here. Hey, Urban, why would you bring this guy in here? Question. Did y'all not know Urban's history? We did not bring Urban Meyer in here because we thought he was Tony Dungy and he would bring in a bunch of guys who went to church with him. He's not Frank Wright. No, if you look at his history, how many players has he had that have been in jail? How many coaches has he had who've had sketchy past? Who've had sketchy things going on? Yes, we did not hire Urban Meyer to bring in the classiest people into the organization. We hired Urban Meyer because we know he's a winner. And sometimes that comes with some baggage. So we shouldn't have been surprised that he brought somebody who has some baggage, right? Number three, I am pissed off at Chris Doyle. Because Chris Doyle, you should have stayed into the fight, brother. It is what it is. This is the world we're in. This is the world we're in. I know you had dreams of being into the NFL and seeing the program and go and build. Also, too, if people go back and look at the tweet thread, the guy Daniels who put out the original tweet said that he would not have gotten to the NFL if it wasn't for Chris Doyle. Right. My last point. Right. I'm gonna read a scene from a play called Fences. It is one of the greatest scenes in all of 20th century art, especially Black art, and it's just great. So I would love for you guys just to indulge me for about 2 minutes. Right. It's about a son and a father having a conversation. Right. And
you better do it like Denzel.
Yes. Denzel. Denzel did the movie. Yes. So son asked his dad, how come you ain't never liked me? Like you? Who the hell say I got to like you? What law is there say I got to like you? Want to stand up in my face and ask a damn fool ass question like that, talking about liking somebody. Come here, boy, when I talk to you. Straighten up, damn it. I asked you a question. What law is there say I got to like you? None. Well, all right then. Don't you eat every day? Answer me when I'm talking to you. Don't you eat every day? Yeah. Nigga, as long as you in my house, you put a sir on the end of it when you talk to me. Yes, sir. You eat every day. Yes, sir. You got clothes on your back. Yes, sir. Why do you think that is? Because of you? Oh, hell, I know it's because of me. But why do you think that is? Because you like me? Like you? I go out of here every morning, bust my butt, putting up with them crackers every day because I like you? You about the biggest fool I ever saw. It's my job. It's my responsibility. You understand that? A man got to take care of his family. You live in my house, sleep on my bedclothes, fill your belly. You my flesh and blood. Not because I like you, because it's my duty to take care of you. I owe you a responsibility to you. Let's get this straight here before it go along any further. I ain't got to like you. Mr. Rand don't give me my money come payday because he likes me. He gives me mine because he owes me. I done given you everything I had to give you. I give you your life. Me and your mama worked that out between us, and liking your black eyes wasn't a part of the bargain. Don't you try and go through life worrying about if somebody like you or not. You best be making sure they're doing right by you. You understand what I'm saying, boy? Yes, sir. Then get the hell out of my face and get on down to A&P. Ladies and gentlemen, millennials, black folk, brothers out there, I don't care if the person that you got to work with is the biggest, I don't care if he got a KKK card. As long as he is standing next to you and you getting paid because of the work that he's doing and the work that you're doing, and y'all can go to y'all separate ways at the end, well, by golly, just go to separate ways, right? I'm tired of us trying to. You know, they don't like us, and you know, America doesn't like you. So what? As long as we getting eyes, it don't matter. Let us get eyes and move on.
I would say this, and we got to wrap, so I don't want us to go too long on this. I would say this to you, Christian. Yes, we can't get caught up in whether or not someone likes us or whether or not we are in favorable circumstances. And maybe even in the same breath, as it may sound contradicting. I don't think some of those players' tweets or whatever they went through, some of it may be, well, shut your ass up and keep working. And some of it at the same time, I don't think you can underestimate disrespect. And hey, whatever work environment you're in, if that environment is allowing you to do whatever you got to do, but it's disrespectful, I mean, to each his own. Whatever man feels like there's only a certain amount of disrespect that I'm gonna tolerate to do what I gotta do, or there's gonna be no disrespect. So I mean, also like all those players or who how many ever they are, like I don't think you could just like shun it away as like, Negro, shut up. The world ain't gonna like you. Keep it pushing. Keep it moving. I mean, because I mean, you don't know if Chris Doyle said some crazy shit to them and it wasn't necessarily rooted in, come on, boy, work hard. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we just can't underestimate it for whatever side, you know, whatever side it may be on. Like, yeah, you can't be worried about who likes you, but also at the same time, like, you know, let's not let that be a pass for motherfuckers to just spit in our face. So I you know, that's all I really got on it.
So what I like to add is I look at it both ways. Like if the facts are what these facts are, then I agree with Christian. Like, bro, like pull your skirt down, babe. You know what I mean? But if the facts are what Edward is saying, is like, you know what I'm saying, really hauling off with some racist remarks, and you know what I'm saying, like, then I would have a hard time feeling like his racist remarks wouldn't lead into other things as far as him being a strength and conditioning coach and showing favoritism and so forth. So it's really both for me. You know what I'm saying? We got to know what really went down to really be able to gauge it and make an assessment. Go ahead, bro.
And also, I mean, oh my bad, Sedacious. I mean, also too, Christian, like, I mean, like him, like he didn't have to leave. I agree with you. Like, I feel like if what you've been accused of, if it's not really true and it's just some he say, she say, and you get that job opportunity, like, bro, if that's not really who you are, if that's not really a part of your character, like, stand in that, right? And also, you on two different like playing fields. College, like you dealing with like young men, boys. When you get to the NFL, I'm pretty sure you ain't gonna be able to talk to them no any kind of way as grown ass men making a whole lot of money. So, so yeah, that's all I really want. That he didn't necessarily have to leave.
Yeah, I do want to clear something up. I'm just going off of what was reported by the players on what they tweeted, right? So I went through and read the tweets, and I'm just going off of that. So I don't know anything beyond that. I think as far as his position in Iowa, I'm not sure. I thought he got fired.
Well, he got temporary leave or temporarily, like, you know, leave of absence or whatever, however you coin that time. But yeah,
okay.
It wasn't immediate, you're out of here. It's like, okay, we're now getting in all of these allegations. You're going to take a leave of absence while we investigate what players have been saying, so on and so forth. And I think from that, he just eventually said, I'm gonna resign. I believe.
Hey, though I said I was mad at him, I do understand it. I mean, this guy's a millionaire. He don't need a job. So, you know, if he was like, hey, I got F you money, so F you, I ain't trying to deal with it. Okay, it is what it is. But I would have rather him stay in a position.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So the situation is he's treating quote unquote black athletes in a in a lesser manner, right? Allegedly, right? Mm-hmm. So that's not technically racist unless he's actually not treating the other players of any other race, of any color differently. So as that came to surface, because that's when it really does turn racist, is when you have your white linebacker, you know, doing the exact same thing. Say, oh, you're good, Billy. And then you have Jamal over here, who's the same linebacker. He does the exact same thing. You're like, you know, fuck that. You give me 20. That's when it is racist. So that's when the race card does come. Yelling at you because you fucked up, that's not racist. That's just you fucked up. You're, like I said, you're getting told what the fuck to do because you're in a position of, you know, high testosterone. But, you know, when there's no comparison, that leaves me in all like, okay, I'm kind of, honestly, I'm with Christian on this one. That could fall to the category of sensitivity, which a lot of our people tend to do. But, you know, because they tend to find like, oh, that's racist. Like, no, there's a thin line between racist and just somebody being like a certain way, if that makes any sense, being a little more stern. So I think personally, what I'm hearing, until I actually hear him say he treated Billy and Bob and so cool and treated them differently, I think they just being sensitive.
Right on, man. Great takes, guys. We're like killing these topics and being concise, well, minus the monologue of Denzel, but we're still doing great. Yo, man, but we're going to wrap up this show with the last hot topic. And Sedacious of all people has the hottest topic. So Jackson State University finally was able to start off their spring season. They played against Edward Waters College. They washed them 53-0. If y'all, you know, been big time followers of this podcast, even if you're not, you will know by now, we really try to dig in. And it's not just about a team getting blown out, but it's about how that team or why did that team get blown out. Or the score seemed like a blowout, but it was actually, according to the X's and O's and play calling, a lot closer than you would think. But in this case, the score is exactly what happened. It was a blowout, ladies and gentlemen. It was a blowout. My two biggest takeaways from watching the game. Well, let me make sure I give y'all these stats on Edward Waters, because obviously it's like, oh, you can say, yeah, man, Jackson State won. Everybody's rooting for Deion. And obviously the slight to that could be, man, they ain't even much play nobody. Right. So just a little background on the Edward Waters football program. Last year, 2019 season, they went 0-10. They had 2 games in which they never scored any points. Their worst loss was 61-0, and they had 60 games in which they gave up 40 points, and they gave up on average 38 points. So all this happened last year. Then they start this year, obviously COVID and may not have been able to prepare and do whatever and so forth. They come out and they lose to Jackson State 53-0. Going back to, well, talking about AAU basketball in the summertime and all these rankings, like there's that one guy or a couple guys that may be top 5 when you go to this big old circuit where all these college coaches are at, and you unrank and you get to step on the floor with guys who are ranked in the top 5, or you probably lucky enough to step on the court with a guy who's number 1 in the country. And you get a chance to go against that guy, make a name for yourself, and now you on everybody's watch list. I think that was my initial takeaway, is like, that's going to be the beauty in Jackson State playing against other teams, other HBCUs, and it being broadcasted more. But when you get the opportunity, bro, you gotta perform, step up. I said, Edward Waters College, I ain't gonna trash y'all. I don't know y'all situation in y'all program, but 53-0, it wasn't a lot of great football that I saw. And it's kind of hard for me to fully judge Jackson State on who they went against, but what I would tell people, what I took away from watching the game, is Jackson State's offensive line was very respectable. And I tried to make sure I wasn't just giving it to them easy because of who they were going against, but I would like to see how their offensive line just progresses, and like they look hella big on the front line, and Edward Waters shouldn't have scored. Offense and defense, they shouldn't have scored at all. And so it was nice to see that Jackson State didn't play down to the competition. But I think the biggest thing that I found most attractive about the Jackson State's football team is their offensive line. It wasn't really the skills position guys, because I don't really know what they're going to do when you're going up against tougher opponents. But Jackson State's offensive line looked really, really good to me, and I think that was a plus in terms of a real nice takeaway from the game as it relates to X's and O's. I know you got the chance to watch the game, Christian. It's like, what did you see or not see? What did you think about it? You know, the team's debut.
Yeah, so I think a couple of things we got to think about when watching this. If we were to watch Alabama play Florida Tech, right? And Alabama beat them 53-0, we would just leave like, okay, that's what they're supposed to do, and then go on, right? No one would try to crown them afterwards. But you know, you just, hey, that's what they're supposed to do. So this was the same type of situation. So if someone's really trying to gather, okay, what is Jackson State like? Are they actually good? Are they not? And also too, this was the first game, so there were a few mistakes, a few pre-snap penalty mistakes, and stuff like that. There were a few coverage busts. Actually, if Edward Waters had a better quarterback, they would have put a few points up. So they did have a few coverage busts. But it looks like offensively, their offensive scheme, they want to run the ball. They're kind of a spread type of offense, and they do some stuff out of the pistol, but they want to run the ball first. The pass game doesn't look very sophisticated to me. And the quarterback, don't really like the quarterback that much. He missed some open guys. So I mean, I think they should have probably scored 70 or 80. And then also too, Deuce McAllister, who did a pretty decent job broadcasting the game. He noted a few times where there were guys open down the field, and he read the ball. So, you know, I would like to see them against, some other SWAC talent to see what they're really about. But I mean, hey, they went out and they did what they were supposed to do, right? They were supposed to kill the team. They did what they're supposed to do. They look like a formidable program. Not that many mistakes to be super worried. But as far as their line play did look pretty good. But again, the guys they're facing is not top talent. So, but they came out and did what they were supposed to do. So,
Right on. Yo, so obviously after the game, Deion Sanders had the interview, said that his items were stolen from his locker room. There was a lot of going back and forth. They were not stolen. They were misplaced. Deion was like, no, the hell with that. My stuff was stolen. I don't want to hear nothing about misplaced. My stuff was stolen. And for people who don't know, during the offseason, Deion's truck was broken into. He had a big old boombox speaker that was stolen out of his truck, but it was soon returned to him after he found out it was missing and someone had broken his truck. And one they get to take away from this situation, a fine detail in terms of oh wow, how did he get stolen? The stadium is nowhere near like connected to the campus, so like it's like a couple ways from my understanding away from the actual like school. So not necessarily sure how and what security works or whatever. So on and so forth, whatever the case may be. And obviously there's Deion, that's Deion Sanders, and his statue. When there's a will, there's a way of somebody really trying to get you. However, we have by far the greatest take on the Deion Sanders items, his belongings being stolen, and the tweets that he put out. We have the greatest take that you will ever hear about this situation, and that take will come from none other than Sedacious. Talk to the people.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you added that first part, because that kind of fuels how I feel more. And I think that he was just fed up, because at first y'all steal my nigga boombox, and then all of a sudden y'all go into my man's shit and y'all grab his weed, man. Y'all steal his weed from him. My man was pissed off, bro. He had to come in there and be like, whoever that bitch was that said that I was lying about lying, I wasn't lying. First of all, they took what was in my zip bag. That's what they took what was in my zip bag. And then they got some other shit out of my office. Y'all ain't got to read between the lines. Y'all took that man weed, and y'all wrong for that. He won the game. and he want to go get his bag of weed and his phone, smoke one, call his wife. Hey, yeah, baby, we kicked their ass, didn't we? Hit it a couple times, and now he can't call his wife, can't smoke his weed. Please.
He had the primetime dance before it.
The man, thank you, Darnell. He did us a favor by bringing his black ass to the HBCU. Don't be niggas. Don't be niggas and take his weed. One of them players took it, and they was like, Coach will get it back. He ain't tripping. Go ahead and get this off of him. Coach will get it back. We finna smoke this tonight, though. Yeah, this whole zip. He should don't leave no zips around us, Coach.
Yo, so for those who may have not seen the Deion Sanders post-game interview after the game and him voicing his frustrations, when Sedacious says read between the lines, he's talking about the tweet that Deion Sanders put out that says, whomever putting out the lie that my belongings wasn't stolen is lying. My belongings were taken out of a zipped bag. Again, my belongings were taken out of a zipped bag in my office, and more items were taken as well from my office. We have retrieved them since being reported. My staff member witnessed the crime, and again, it says my belongings were taken out of a zipped bag in my office. So that is Sedacious with the very introspective thought process, and just reading between the lines. What would be in a zipped bag?
Right. Because old buddy that worked there was like, they had a big bag of weed, about this big, about this much weed. Oh, yeah, they took your shit. I remember they took your shit. They got your shit. Yeah. They went down and they make a left. Yeah, they down there.
That's pretty much the dialogue right there. That's the dialogue.
They was laughing. They was excited. They was too excited. I'm like, what they got? Yeah. They down there.
That's an accurate dialogue right there.
Oh man,
like, I'm gonna get my money. I ain't coming back next year. I'm coaching this year and I'm done. They keep stealing my shit.
Hey, when you text in the group chat and you was like, is it me or is nobody else like not thinking of like annoyed? Like, did anybody else realize how pissed off he was about this Ziploc bag? And I was like, oh, I was like, that boy got that loud pack. You gotta put you gotta put it in the Ziploc or the mason jar. Hey man, this boy got that stickiest of the icky, man.
Wait, what was the name of that team?
Edward Waters College out of Jacksonville.
Smoking on that Edward Waters pack. That's exactly what he was trying to do. Exactly what he was trying to do, for sure. He had that exactly in mind.
They took my prime time.
He about to play some drill music in the background.
He got some prime time made for him.
He gonna play some Lil Durk and smoking on that pack. I promise you. That was the plan.
Yo, man.
I don't care about the other shit. Give me my weed back.
You can see the frustration in his face.
Go find him. Go find him. I don't care about the other shit. Get that weed.
You know how hard it is to get some green right now? At this time? At my celebrity?
Yeah. No, at first I was just like, damn, like, you know, just like that look as a whole on like HBCU and stuff. But like when you text that, I was just like, I'm gonna go with that one.
That's what
he's on to something.
Yeah, no, yo, so hey, that's what we bring y'all, man. Great insight, great introspective thoughts. That's why you should tune in. That's why you should tune in. So again, whether the game is football, whether it's basketball, soccer, we're gonna get there. Hopscotch, we're gonna get there. Lacrosse, we're gonna get there too.
Double Dutch.
Speaking of golf, definitely prayers out to Tiger Woods, who was injured injured, got hit. Not even got hit, fell off the road down on the side of the road. Looked like a very deep hill, very deep ditch of some sort. He was the only one in the vehicle that it was reported. So definitely hoping that he comes out as best as he could be from that situation. So definitely prayers out to him and his family who's trying to like
hopefully no scandals.
Hopefully there's no scandals, of course. But yeah, man, no matter what the game is, basketball, football, tennis, life, finances, whatever the game is that you're trying to deal with in life, we guarantee you that we're going to talk about it. And you may not, when we do talk about it, you may hate the game, you may love the game, but nonetheless, when we get done talking about it, you will respect the game. Thank you for tuning in this week, beautiful people. We'll catch y'all next week on the Respect the Game podcast, which you can also go listen to on Apple and Spotify and really anywhere else that you go check out your podcast, especially on Anchor FM.